what the return on investment is for those two options, and you'll be able to decide if that's a direction you want to pursue.
And there are some other options too with solar that we can look at if that doesn't, those numbers don't come in where they need to be, whether it's a power purchase agreement or some other form of it.
That is correct.
Good. I have some questions there, Chris. Everybody hear me? Chris, I didn't follow your numbers, so I'm assuming that the public didn't follow them either. This $6 million bond ordinance today is in addition to the $2 million bond ordinance that was already passed back in September. So this takes us to $8 million in fungible monies. Correct?
Minus the down payment, but
okay.
Correct.
But basically, the bond issuance is approximately $8 million.
Correct.
Now, I heard you state that at the end of the day, the city should only go to the hook for approximately $4.5 million, given some properties that are going to be sold. And there was one other item I didn't quite understand. $100-some odd thousand. Can you repeat that for me?
Sure, those are grants that we've been committed to but have not received yet. So when we receive them, obviously we won't have to borrow that money.
Okay, so what you're saying is the 2.6 or 2.7 that the acquisition cost of the property, you have not received the entire amount yet. There's still 900,000 is coming forward.
There's 650 roughly that we have not received yet. That's the Green Acres money. There's an additional $300,000 emergency management grant that we have been committed but we have not received yet. So that's the 900 roughly.
600 and 900. The Green Acres, okay, that is definitely coming. We just have to receive it.
That is correct.
Okay. 300 emergency management, I think that's been approved. I know that Congressman will be on to secure that.
That is correct.
Okay. So that's the 900. So if we take the 900 away, we're at the 7.1, and then take $2.5 million away, come up to that's roughly 4.6, 4.5. But that's assuming, Chris, and I'm just being devil's advocate here. I think the $2.5 million estimate for properties that we're selling, I think back in the day, when our economy was good and real estate values were skyrocketing, that was a fair number. But I think to let the public think that we're going to get $2.5 million, I think is unrealistic. So I want to try to be as conservative as we possibly can so that the general public knows what we're looking at. And I think everybody in the council, I think everybody here recognizes that the real estate market is in the tank, and all we have to do is look around and see that people are doing tax appeals and just look at sales. And we know that something that was worth $1 million in 2006 is worth $600,000 today. So I think that number should be adjusted so that the public has, has a better anticipation of what really is going to happen.
I think the number was adjusted, wasn't it?
No,
Our original estimate?
that's the same number we used 2 years ago when we did the public presentation.
Would you agree, Mayor, that the real estate market is
Well, I agree that in general the real estate market is down. However, I talked to someone last night who just sold a property for 50% more than it was assessed at. So, I mean, it depends on the location of the property. Hopefully these properties, and the other thing that we're looking at is we're not looking to sell them in today's market. We're looking 2, possibly 3 years down the road before we go to permanent financing to sell these properties. Now, hopefully the market will come back in 2 or 3 years.
Well, I think we would all hope that the market will come back. We have to project on today's market, not on...
Well, we're not going to, this is permanent financing. That's what we're looking at, going to permanent financing. Right now we're doing an authorization to borrow. The permanent number is based on an estimate. And hopefully, if it might even be higher, who knows what the market will do. It certainly went down quickly enough.
Okay, so the total construction project, though, at the end of the day is going to be closer to $8 million. With soft cost, FF&E, furniture, fixture, equipment,
Correct. That's the amount that we have budgeted. That includes a contingency. That also includes
All the alternates.
all the alternate bids. So if the contingency that we have budgeted for, which is approximately 10% of construction price, is not utilized, then we're $700,000 less we need to borrow. If we don't do the alternates, then that's probably another
$800 or $900.
$800,000 or $900,000 less.
The general public, every time this project came up, was always looking for a budgeted number. And I was quite surprised yesterday when I got my agenda to find out that we were bonding another $6 million. I think the perception always was that the project was going to come in at approximately $6 million. The budget is set at 5.5. Based on the transcript of our August meeting where we went through the numbers, and
so I was a little surprised to see that the budget went from one number to a number that's going to be higher.
Well, you shouldn't have been surprised when you got your agenda, because this information's been out for about a month prior to the last meeting when we didn't put this on the agenda, but the information was certainly there. No, the finance information. We had talked about the possibility of doing this bond authorization at the previous meeting, but we didn't. We weren't ready to do it at that time, so we didn't do it.
well, I wasn't aware that it was $6 million.
I think you were, but you may not remember.
Well, as a matter of fact, I asked our CFO the question. I thought the $6 million included the first $2 million. As a matter of fact, that's the exact question I asked him yesterday. So I'm a misinformed council member, and I apologize for that.
That's okay.
But just goes to show that I'm not informed. There's probably most of the public is not informed about it as well. So I just want to make sure that the budget is aware of the process.
And there are some things, Tony, that need to be analyzed as we go forward. It may or may not make sense for us to own the solar system. Not the solar system in general, the solar system on the roof. That may not make sense for us to do. And that's something that we'll need to evaluate, because that is one of the alternates, to see whether it makes, in light of whether it's better for an investor to come in and take the sustainable renewable energy credits, or for us to try and do something with them in the market. Who knows? So that's something that will be evaluated. I can tell you that during the meetings that we've had, we've run a lot of different scenarios, and Tom Sykes is here as well, looking at different options and cost savings throughout the project. But where we are right now is a project that will accommodate all the needs that were brought forth at the public meetings that were held with the various community groups. We're not sure right now where Bocce would fall into the mix since they came to us late with their request. But I guess the question I have, and I asked you, this when we had the Bocce people here, is there enough in the contingency that if we had to do something with, if the desire is for the Bocce group to move to that site, can we accommodate them as well, or do something with their present site?
Well, I think we know they do not want to move the St. Philip site. They want to do something across the street, and we're hoping if the bids come in low enough, not only Bocce is the concession stand for the Rams and hockey, that we may be able to then dedicate some money to that.
To wrap up those projects?
To wrap that up, yes.
Okay. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, we've had a motion, the second, we've had discussion. Once again, I want to thank Jeff and Tom and everybody, all of our professional staff for the job they've done putting this together. We can only hope that the bids come in low.